Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns here. We got to start rolling here. The Cleveland Browns, a lot has happened and a lot has changed within this offense in this past offseason, obviously bringing in Deshaun Watson. I didn't have this question on the dock, and I'm going to just throw it up. And whoever wants to slam dunk this one home, I just want to see where it goes. We talk about Deshaun Watson. The reports came out yesterday where he had a settlement with 20 of the 24 victims, and we're getting closer and closer, I feel like, to a decision on whether Deshaun Watson plays in 2022 or not, or whether it's maybe an 8-game suspension or whatever. What do you do with Deshaun Watson in redraft leagues this year? Are you drafting him high? Where are you taking him? What are your expectations? What's the process like assessing Deshaun Watson's fantasy output this season?
Does he have an 80? What's his ADP at right now? Is he seeing it? I mean, because
that's
the real question. I mean,
I don't even think it matters. I don't even think it matters.
Right now,
it's simple.
Deshaun, he's QB 13 going in I think it's 130.
If you're drafting before the decision comes down, you don't touch Deshaun Watson. In a redraft league, there's no point in drafting Deshaun Watson if the decision has not come down. Once the decision comes down, if it is less than a year, less than the full season, that's when the dilemma comes in. But until then, you're just staying away. And if you're doing redraft leagues and you're drafting right now, go somewhere else because you should not be drafting right now.
Well, so what's the dilemma though? What is the dilemma when if it comes down as an 8-game suspension? What is your dilemma and how are you taking it?
Can you not before round games? 11.
Can you sustain 8 games? Are you a good enough evaluator of talent to sustain that many games? But you also got to remember, this is a guy that hasn't played football in a year. Like, there's going to be some growing pains. And if it's week 11, if say he gets suspended 8 games, and I don't know when their bye week is, maybe their bye week's week 9, who knows? If you're coming in week 10, 11, the fantasy season's almost over. Yeah. Like, are you going to ride with Deshaun Watson going into your fantasy playoffs week 1, knowing that he's only had 2 games under his belt and he hasn't played in a year and a half? No way. Like, I lean on the side of just staying away, but if there's some miracle, he's only suspended for 6 or for 4, or they say there's no suspension, then it becomes a different question. But as of right now, based on all the information we have, it shouldn't even be a discussion.
I might be on. I don't like. I understand the fact that, and you brought up you riding with him towards the playoffs if he only has 2 games under his belt. I actually look at that in the opposite way of you have all that time before your fantasy playoffs, and you have to make a decision on a quarterback. And if you're drafting Deshaun Watson in the 11th round or the 10th round, who are you drafting? Are you drafting a quarterback before that? Because if you're drafting a quarterback before Deshaun Watson, it's either, but you say, of course, but it's either Stafford, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. You're not going to really bench any of those other quarterbacks for Deshaun Watson though. Right? Are you like, we talk about how,
so are you advocating are you advocating to not draft him, or are you saying like,
no? What I'm saying is my concern. You said your concern is more of the fact that it's you're not going to want to start him with 2 games under his belt heading towards the playoffs. I don't know if I'd want to even. I guess I'll say that if he's suspended 8 games, I'm not drafting Deshaun Watson, right? Because of the fact that if you're drafting a quarterback, but. I know what you're saying. I'm saying I'm looking at it in a completely different way of not just so much the fact that it's towards the playoffs that you're concerned. It's getting to the playoffs is the concern.
You're not using – first of all, you're not using 2 of your top 11 picks on quarterbacks in a one quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying drafting Matt Stafford or one of those guys first. You wouldn't be. If you're taking Deshaun Watson, you're taking him first.
That's what I'm trying to say here, because if you're taking Deshaun Watson first and he's suspended 8 games, you're looking at 8 games of a season, either streaming quarterbacks or rolling out with Kirk Cousins, Trey Lance, Tua, Justin Fields, guys like that. And I don't know if I'd want to do that. And that's why I am coming to the conclusion of not drafting Deshaun Watson if he's suspended 8 or more games. it is agreeing with you, but I was giving a different perspective of, you brought up the fact that it's close to the playoffs, not starting him 2 games under his belt. I'm talking about you have to get to the playoffs first, and you're not going to get to the playoffs streaming a quarterback like a Kirk Cousins or Tua or anything like that.
Cousins
That's
is a
what
top
I'm saying.
quarterback every year. Kirk Cousins
let's
is
settle down.
I like Cousins. Kirk
Cousins is a borderline quarterback 1 every year. What are you talking about?
In fantasy.
He'll have his
what are you
doozies.
talking about?
He'll have his doozies, but he'll lay those 30, 38 games.
The problem is you have a huge drop off after Matt Stafford to the next group of quarterbacks in most people's eyes. But the quarterbacks that are being drafted after Deshaun Watson are Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins. Why can't those guys be fantasy relevant? Why can't Matt Ryan be fantasy relevant in Indianapolis? Maybe Jameis Winston gets back to being fantasy relevant. Like, you're not looking at, you're talking about streaming quarterbacks, but you can play some of those guys every week. It's not a streaming situation. They're just not quarterback 1s. And quarterback 1s or quarterback 2 does not mean a streamer. Like, we can't say quarterback 14. Oh no, we got to find a streaming quarterback every week. No, he's just outside the top 12. So taking Deshaun Watson doesn't mean that you have to not make the playoffs because you have Kirk Cousins. Like, you can start Kirk Cousins every single week, and you're probably going to have a pretty good team if you didn't draft a quarterback till then, because you got a bunch of good receivers and good running backs.
See, this is where I wanted to get in the conversation. This is where I was
Your dilemma is you took Deshaun Watson now in round 11. Now here comes round 12 and 13, and hey, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get some insurance and draft Kirk Cousins too. So your first 10 picks were all wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. So you probably got a good, solid team. Kirk Cousins is your quarterback.
So if you're considering...
Let me finish. Now it's week 8. Deshaun Watson is back. You're not going to play him first week, or I guess week 9. Weeks 9 and 10, you bench him to see what he's got. Say he's done okay, and in week 10 or 11, he balls out. And he has a dud. It's week 12. Now you have to make the decision. Have you seen enough to play Deshaun Watson over Kirk Cousins, who you know what you're going to get with? I'm saying that's tough to do, and I don't know if I would trust that, so I lean on just not drafting him at all.
I haven't chimed in here. I'll say this real quick. There's no chance in hell I'm drafting Deshaun Watson. He didn't play football at all last year. He hasn't played football halfway through this year. I don't know what the heck I'm getting here. Redraft league, piss off. Going somewhere else.
It's pretty simple.
It's fair. That's fair. And that's why I wanted to discuss it, because there are people that are out there that are probably considering whether or not taking Deshaun Watson in a redraft.
His ADP is saying that.
And if you do that, I was getting at what the quarterback should be if you are doing that to get you to week 8, if that is the earliest that he is back.
Who finished?
I'm a believer in not drafting quarterbacks. So there's guys there I would still take. I would take Justin Fields, to be honest. I don't mind Justin Fields. I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind Jameis Winston. You know, I'm a big believer in one young quarterback this year, and I think he's going to take a huge step in year 2, and that's Zach Wilson. I am not afraid to wait and try my luck on those type of quarterbacks. I'm not.
And we all know that AJ's favorite quarterback is sitting there as the QB 24 in Washington, in Carson Wentz. So if you draft Deshaun Watson,
never take.
I mean,
who finishes with more fantasy points?
Deshaun Watson, so I wasn't really
Baker Mayfield.
angry about that. Well, I mean, we only know if Baker Mayfield's going to play football.
Right. We don't know if
Deshaun Watson's going to play football.
That's why the question's been asked.
Yeah, I was like, that's actually. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
So Baker Mayfield will be the quarterback of the Panthers.
Jimmy G might be the quarterback of the Panthers.
Jimmy G's
I might be the quarterback of the Panthers, but let's move on.
I'll take Vinny over both those guys.
I got a hell of an arm, man. I'm like that. I'm like Uncle Rico, baby. Let's go. Okay. So AJ, real quick though, without Watson, what is the value of the receivers in Cleveland? Obviously, got Amari Cooper. No more Jarvis Landry. What's the value of the pass catching weapons in Cleveland if there is no Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, it kind of worries me a lot. It almost seems like a brand new receiving core in Cleveland with brand new quarterbacks. Jacoby Brissett, who's only ever been decent. I mean, you look at Amari Cooper as your number 1, and even that, you're probably having him as your RB2. I'm sorry, your wide receiver 2, or trying to get him as a flex. In the last couple of years, you've watched his fantasy output decline, and I think that's going to happen again, especially if you don't have a Deshaun Watson in there. So David Bell's a rookie. You don't know what to trust there. Donovan Peoples-Jones has only been given a handful of attempts, and then you're looking at a Jakeem Grant who is basically a return guy. So, you always look for your number one receivers on a team and know that they're going to get some fantasy value. But, I mean, there's just receivers so deep. You can go so many other places. And if there's no Watson in this team for even the 8 games, I'm probably staying far away from many of these receivers.
Aaron, are you on board with that? I know you like Amari Cooper as a obviously former Cowboy. You like him a little bit, but are you on board with what AJ said?
Nope.
More or less, yeah.
Great.
More or less. I mean, most of what he said, I agree with. I'm not going to argue every single point. I think for the most part, it was what I agree with.
I think it is hard to gauge anyone on this Cleveland Browns roster or offense unless your name is Nick Chubb or Dylan's favorite player, Kareem Hunt.
I mean, all right, Amari Cooper is going to get his because he's the best receiver there. So
yeah, that's fair.
It don't matter who throws the football. It doesn't matter. It could be Jacoby Brissett. It could be Dylan's grandmother. It really doesn't matter.
Whoa.
They're going to throw to Amari Cooper because on the other side, there's not very much talent. Donovan Peoples-Jones, who know David Bell, they said they like, but Amari Cooper is the best route runner. He's going to get his targets. He'll have a good year, regardless of who's at quarterback. The game changes if Deshaun Watson's there. That's all.
Kevin Hogan.
So basically, it's the same thing as what Cleveland has been in the past. It's that one number one receiver, whether it be Jarvis Landry or Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. That's it until Deshaun Watson comes back, and at that point, it's a mess.